39. Jackson Arrington, ranked number 3, 12-3 this year. He has been a bonus point machine, taking on a familiar foe, Finn Solomon. These two were part of the same recruiting class. They shared the same training room at NC State. Solomon making the decision to transfer this offseason, come back home. He grew up in Murraysville, PA, so a big match for him as he takes on the NCAA qualifier, Arrington.
Arrington has wrestled very well this year. Coach Hall said that he doesn't think that he's not going to become an All-American.
Arrington gets to his offense early. Jackson had the strong run at Nationals his first go-around. He went 3-2. He reached the round of 12, which means you're only one match away from the podium.
Center in.
Losses to Yanni Diakamahalis, Brock Mahler. Coach Hall told us this guy, when you look at Jackson Arrington from last year to this season, and without hesitation, Hall said he is bigger and he is stronger.
He looks big.
Gained close to 10 pounds of muscle this offseason. In fact, Coach Hall was still feeling the effects of sparring with Jackson Arrington when we talked to him. His shoulder, he said, might not feel the same the rest of the year.
It takes a lot of humility for a coach to say that my wrestler is amazing. It's not out of me. And he said he yelled at him afterwards. Not because he beat him. He said, why don't you do this every time you wrestle? And then Jackson Arrington goes, you gotta think there, coach.
Side-to-side motion by Arrington, trying to get to his particular angle that he likes to hit. Solomon, the collar tie, head underneath, and finally Finn Solomon clears it away. 3-1, halfway through period one. Entertaining start tonight.
Good hip control by Jackson Arrington.
Keep progressing here. Keep progressing.
If there's no action, the official will call stalemate. Stalemate means that no one can improve.
Here we go, guys.
And they'll restart.
This is such a great state for wrestling. Arrington hailing from the state of Pennsylvania, Forest Hill High School. And there's been a pipeline from the state of PA down to Raleigh. Pat Papalizio has recruited this area well. Obviously, the Hidley brothers, a big part of that and the success that they have enjoyed. Many wrestlers have followed since.
Arrington is continuing to shoot a high C to the right leg of Finn Solomon. There's two ways to think about it after a big match like we just had. If you're on the winning side, you're pumped up, but then also if your guy just lost, you're pumped up too. So I think the adrenaline is high on both wrestlers here. One to keep the momentum going, and one to avenge his probably training partner's loss.
Arrington carries a 3-1 lead into the second period. Rock and I are off to Reynolds Coliseum next Friday night. Friday night duels, the Rob Cole era underway in Chapel Hill. This will be a lot of fun. North Carolina, NC State next Friday. A little bit of a later start, 8:30 Eastern. Hope you can join us right here on the ACC network.
And I tell you what, the NC State fans are going to let Rob Cole know what they feel about him. And Rob Cole is going to relish in it.
Still green, one red,
future of this conference so bright. The addition of Stanford next year. You have Cole coming back to coach his alma mater. It's going to be a lot of fun. See what happens, transpires over the next several seasons. Arrington the escape, 4-1 lead, 30 seconds into the second period.
Solomon was able to get in on one shot, but since then he really hasn't been on the offensive when it comes to shooting.
You look around this arena, there is a lot of red, and a lot of that is because of the connections to this state. Jackson Arrington won 3 Pennsylvania state championships. He was part of the powerhouse program at Forest Hills, wrestling for Jake Strayer.
wrestlers improve here.
Solomon is doing a good job of slowing the match down.
Rock, in a situation like this, obviously these two wrestlers familiar with one another. They shared the training room. They battled in wrestle-offs a season ago. Do you like taking on an opponent that you know well and that knows you well, or do you like mixing it up a little bit, changing the strategy as you take on somebody in which there's a certain familiarity?
Well, it depends. It depends. If you've wrestled a guy and you've dominated him, then you want to wrestle him and don't really care. But if you guys were neck and neck the whole time, then yes, it could be a little awkward. That's why coaches don't really like wrestle-offs, because you're wrestling a guy that you wrestle every single day for every week, on and on. So are you really showing that you're a better wrestler by wrestling someone that you wrestle all the time? In most instances, no.
Take a look at this weight, 149. Ridge Lovett, Nebraska, ranked number 1. Caleb Henson, Virginia Tech. Arrington in at number 3.
That 2-3 match between Henson and Arrington on February 23rd for Friday Night Duels, it's going to be a good one.
Two still very young wrestlers, might we add, in the national rankings in this conference this week.
Who have not taken a red shirt.
Still you red? Yes.
Arrington unable to crack Solomon back down to the mat, so Finn Solomon picks up his second single pointer, and it's 4-2.
4-2, and this is where the joy of the three-point takedown makes a difference. Finn Solomon has been shooting to Jackson Arrington's right leg, but he's been shooting with his arms. He hasn't been able to get his hips underneath him. And oftentimes when you shoot with your arms, it's easier for your opponent to sprawl and you're in a tough situation. When he shoots, he needs to shoot and get his hips underneath him.
See the improved hand fighting from Finn Solomon. That's been an area that he has worked on. A late shot by Arrington here in this third period. Has the leg. A whizzer by Solomon trying to counter.
And Solomon is tricky here.
We're neutral.
And as he had that rubber knee, see, he was a little tricky there. Knee going in directions you don't expect him to go. And he went back to that shot. He's just got to get his hips underneath him. He's reaching. He can steal this, but he's got to create something quickly. Finn Solomon can steal this match. It's only 4-2, three-point takedown.
Work through this.
Time not a factor. A takedown wins it if you're Solomon, but he's got to try to clear this tie-up. He'll get some help from the official. Stalemate, 23 seconds. Finn Solomon's going to have to roll the die a little bit, take some chances now.
Take a chance.
Half-hearted low shot. Arrington well aware what's coming. Short time as we hit 10 seconds. Inside trip attempt by Solomon. Now he gets to that underhook. Just can't quite finish it up. And Jackson Arrington, in a matchup between two former teammates, is going to come away with the win. Respect between these two Pennsylvania natives. 4-2. Arrington gets the Wolfpack back in the win column.
Good wrestling by both wrestlers. Jackson Arrington, he's got to realize that as he wrestles more, there's more film on him. And because of that, he had to win. But this was the match. Cole Matthews. And then Jackson Arrington with that first takedown. We got another match coming up. Ed Scott, All-American.